right, everybody. Welcome in to the DNVR Rapids podcast. First post-match of the season. Welcome in. We are in Studio A live at the DNVR bar. Joined here by the one and only Juanners FC.
Hello, hello. How's it going, everyone?
And, of course, the good homie, Devon Widick. Widick. Not Widick.
Not Widick.
Fooling the masses. Devon Widick joined us. See, I just did it. Devon Widick joining us.
Yeah, you just did it again.
Oh, man. Okay, so, I mean, obviously, we just coming off of a 1-0 loss in Guatemala City to Comunicaciones to open up champions. Oh, brutal. Right at the death. 90th minute, Espino just has an absolute rocket from outside the box. And, I mean, what is your first takeaway, Juanners? I mean, obviously it's a bit of shock, but where's your head at after seeing the opener kind of end like that?
So you kind of familiar with the term time wasting.
Yeah.
The Rapids played. They didn't necessarily time waste.
Yeah.
But judging by the way they played, by the movements of the ball, by their lack of urgency, they got in there and they started time wasting. That's not necessarily the way that Rapids players, football players time waste. Like they weren't, drawing out fouls and, kind of waiting around for the final whistle. They were just, playing with kind of this malaise. Like they were just really kind of not really there all the way through. And I don't know if you can chalk that up to preseason rust, to kind of Robin Fraser's tactics, but they did not look like, personnel on the field. They didn't look like they wanted to be there.
Yeah, and like you said, there is probably a combination of preseason rest, and not just that. Comunicaciones is mid-season. They're second in their table in Guatemala. And Devon, I mean, is that what you saw? Something along the lines of they're in form, the Rapids aren't? Could it just be as simple as that?
I'd say so. Probably 50-50. I feel like the Rapids were out there from the get-go. You look at that lineup. They were just running it back. Run it back, play it safe, get out of there with that 0-0, and they didn't. They didn't come out of there with that. They didn't have their the drive to win that game until it was too late.
Yeah, I mean, I felt like it opened up a little bit around, I would say, maybe the 70th minute, a little after. They got out on the break. You saw ACOSTA, BRYAN really pushing it. Nothing really came of it. Obviously, there was, I would say, only probably 3 real chances that the Rapids even had. Now, tactically, we did see the new guys come on for the first time. This probably isn't the lineup that we're going to see in a month even, right? So what did you see from guys like, Warner and Wilson and guys that may not have as many minutes now that they're getting now compared to later? Do you think we're going to see this same 11 start in 3 weeks even, or even next week?
Well, that's interesting you say that because we have different opinions on Warner.
Sure.
I personally think I like what Warner provides in the starting 11. He's kind of a dog. Like he allows Jack Price to not be the dog of the team. He kind of just goes in there and gets all the dirty work on it, and it's not clean. It's not, it's not flashy. But he wins the ball in good positions and just gives it to Jack. And Jack can do all the nice, pretty stuff. I think with anything, this another year we don't know our best lineup. And Jared, my co-host of the C38 podcast, has said it before, is we really don't know what the best way to make this 11 is. So the 11 you saw tonight could very well be an 11 we see again later down the road. But I don't imagine it'll ever be like, oh, these are the best 11 Rapids. It's always been a group effort. And maybe that's to the detriment in knockout games because you need that. Jared says, as I say this, you need your best 11 out there. And whether or not this is your best 11, you don't know. And that's not a good spot to be in.
Right. And, we saw mostly entirely holdovers from last season.
Right.
The new guys not getting a start. Devon, do you think that was the way to start? Did you maybe want to see ACOSTA in there?
Absolutely not. I'm more of I'm looking for that aggressive Rapids way. We play beautiful soccer. We're trying to win the game. We're trying to score goals. They didn't match up to that ideal. as far
Sure.
as I'm concerned. He brought up Warner. Immediately when I see a Warner on a lineup at this point in time, at a starting capacity, I'm thinking, well, we're going to see a whole lot of backwards passes tonight, just playing it safe. And in those situations, I'd rather see him try to go for the win and play somebody that's going to be a little more aggressive. I like Warner in a situation where he's coming into a game to hold a lead, to hold a draw, something like that.
Yeah, and not just backwards passes, but there was 6 guys behind him that he's backwards passing to because it came out in that 5-2-3 that they've shown in the first or last 2 preseason games, and then now. Obviously Robin loves his defensive lineups, right? So it's expected. But if you thought you were going to come down and grab a road goal, that's probably not the 11 we wanted to see.
Well, and I like how you mentioned that too, because it's not just personnel. Like immediately everyone says, oh, we need a finisher, we need a 9. But there's really not much. I mean, let's say the Rapids had spent that money and gotten a 9. There's really not much that 9 would have done in that game. I mean, the 2 people we had up top playing were Rubio and Lewis, and the chances for them to kind of shoot were so far and few in between that at this point and I'm all for a DP9. Let's get it right. It's not to throw cold water on that, but the way the Rapids played tonight, what would have a DP9 would not have changed kind of the trajectory of that game.
You're absolutely right, because basically their only offensive chances were on the break.
Yeah.
And it was a long break. It was pretty much Barrios got it, and now he has 40 yards to run with the ball at his feet.
It was always 2v4, 2v5, 2v6. It was never kind of we're in the box. Because that's the thing is, though, when the Rapids are in the box, when they get the ball in the box, that's when I'm like, yes, we need that finisher. We need the guy that can put it away, but we didn't have that today.
And we have the first half of that equation. Price had a beautiful corner to Lawless. I want to say 86 minutes, something like that. Hit him right on the head, and Lawless didn't do anything with it. Devin, is that something that you think we need to capitalize on in the next fixture? I mean, that had to be the best chance we had all night.
For a team that thrives off set pieces, we sure had very few of them.
Yeah.
That's what I was noticing.
Yeah, maybe 3-4 corners. I don't have the stats right in front of me, but
next to nothing.
Yeah.
And so that long ball style that they played all night wasn't setting them up for what they do best.
And it's not going to work.
Yeah.
True. That's the one time I saw the Rapids and was like, no.
I mean, I think maybe it could be possible that in their head they have that beautiful long ball highlight against Dallas in the preseason. That was Estevez up to Torre.
I don't think I saw that one.
No, not Torre. Barrios. Thank you, super producer Yaya, on the 1s and 2s over there. Yeah, so, and that's what they've shown, and we haven't seen much now. In terms of key plays, that's really all we're looking at is they probably fumbled a couple of those break chances. I don't think we necessarily have the right personnel in there to complete those break chances. Like you were saying, we were very far back, very compact. I mean, are there any other plays I'm missing that stood out to you in this game, Juanners?
I mean, Max had a chance where it looked good, but I mean, it kind of floated out wide. We were kind of like stunned a little bit because it's going towards goal, but from the angle.
Yeah, he comes out there. He looks like he has that talent. He looks like he's ready to pop. Being the first time out there with that team and being rusty, he clearly didn't. He wasn't really on his game.
Not just first time out there. It hasn't even been a full week that he has been actually with the squad.
Yeah.
Like, he trained Friday. That was his first time suiting up with the team at all in any capacity. And then today he got 10 minutes, which is probably what we thought he would see, right? I mean, that's makes sense. Bring in the talent off the bench late, try and manufacture something. And you could see it, right? I mean, there were signs that, like, okay, this guy can come in and make a difference offensively.
Well, yeah, the game changed a bit. When he came on. There was kind of a more urgency. And that's the thing, is they lacked urgency. They didn't look like they wanted to, again, be there. And if that's the kind of energy you bring into the game, it kind of just translates to everyone on the pitch, not necessarily just the 9 or whatever it is.
And that's a really good word, energy, because literally from the start, we didn't have the sound on in the bar yet, right, Devin? And you're looking up at the screen and you're like, why are these firefighter-looking guys standing on a cinder block underneath the goal, right? And there's a bee's nest in the Rapids goal right? Buzz. Yeah, the buzz. It's buzzing in here. And literally, it got off to a start where the game was delayed because of actual bees.
I didn't know that.
That is like,
Yeah, that was fun.
it was probably the most CONCACAF way this game could have started, Devin. Am I right? I mean,
Pretty much. Yeah, I mean, there's no way you can describe like a game in Latin America better than, well, we started 20 minutes late because of some natural thing or a fan doing something crazy. Like it was expected.
because of bees. Bees. So let's dive in. Let's get a little more specific. Let's get into some performances we saw tonight. Lewis got the start up top instead of Barrios. He had some good runs, I thought. Played with some decent pace, but wasn't a ton of creation. I don't know. Juanners, what do you see from him tonight?
He can't be the central option anymore. He's better on the wing, but like if you look at that formation, we're playing a 5-3-2, and I think, me personally, I think I'm done seeing it.
Same. I think that's across the panel, actually.
I think he relies heavily on other people getting him up real close
Yeah.
before he's actually dangerous. When he's getting the ball a little farther out, nothing happens.
And the problem is, I think Rubio and Lewis are good sidekick strikers.
Yeah.
Where they could really play off the shoulder of someone and be there to clean up. But you can't have two sidekicks. You need, ideally, you would want to have that DP number 9 that
Sure.
everyone wants, right? Like, but let's just assume we're not getting it. Let's just assume going forward, how do you set this team up to where it's not two sidekick strikers of like one having to play off the shoulder? And I think ultimately, I want to see us go back to the 4-3-3 with two dynamic wingers in Barrios and Lewis feeding Rubio and getting that ball in the box. But I mean, for now, Lewis, I want to keep seeing him there, but he did not have the best of games tonight.
Yeah, and and you think if we're not doing the five back and we are going to see a 4 back, you think he kind of takes that natural third spot instead, where the 2 would become a 3.
Yeah,
he makes sense, especially because we haven't seen a lot of the new guys yet. Devin, did you see enough that you would say let's give him another start up top, or do you want to see it go to Barrios next?
No, I would definitely change it.
Yeah.
I feel like we've experimented quite a bit with Lewis. Try him, start here, start there.
Sure.
And we've never seen it work for real, like long-term, extended type period of time. I think that we should have him still play as that sub.
So we'll go right into this. If you want to throw that comment back up on there. From Logan, he says, thoughts on the ACOSTA debut. Personally, need to see more from him. There's a lot left to be desired. A lot to be desired, I think, is a little harsh. He only had 30 minutes. It's his first 30 minutes.
I barely noticed him.
But to be fair, I mean, you didn't see much from any of the midfielders tonight. So I would say it's more of a TBD than a negative. I don't know, Juanners. I mean, is that where you guys are landing on it? I mean,
well, it was weird because you saw Abubakar doing a lot of long balls to the wingers, and there was no chance for. And I don't know if you'll get into Mac, but there's no chance for Mac, ACOSTA, Price even to really do what they do in the midfield. It was more of like, hey, this is your job. Just hold possession and kind of, don't lose the ball in a dangerous area. And for the most part, I mean, when they, like a lot of the times there was some mistakes here and there. That's probably preseason rust. But for the most part, they did the job was just secure the ball and, build out the attack. Whether it's patient enough, I was telling him this team's just too patient. It's kind of their own bad, but I liked ACOSTA. I did like what I saw from him. He was getting in there. He gives us that CONCACAF edge. He was kind of a body in there, using being physical and winning the ball. And I think I want to see more of him.
Yeah, absolutely. And you would imagine if Warner doesn't start, it would probably be for ACOSTA.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll see. I mean, obviously, they brought him in for a reason. KAYE in the presser yesterday mentioned specifically he comes in with a lot of respect from the locker room. Like, they know who he is. He's a vet. He's played internationally.
ACOSTA?
Yeah, ACOSTA.
Okay,
so
nice.
He did seem like...
grizzled.
Okay, yeah, exactly. Like, they want him to play. They came in here. He'll probably play more. I think tactically today it was tough for him to show off much.
Yeah.
I mean...
Yeah, he didn't have the opportunity to.
Replace ACOSTA with Mac, replace ACOSTA with Price. There wasn't much to see because the ball was always back in that last 5 or launched up to Rubio, Barrios, Lewis. Not a lot to play with the midfielders. Mac, I do want to bring up, especially because he was speaking with us or with the press yesterday. I thought he played pretty well. He wasn't finishing. He looked a little lazy around the like in the box near the goal. Devin, what did you see from Mac tonight?
I felt like when Mac really wanted to, he was making the opportunities for other people, but I would say that his heart didn't seem like it was in it. Like if we were going to talk about the effort and we were going to talk about like whether or not they really wanted to be there, like Juan's brought up several times, I think the first person you put on that list tonight is Mac.
He did have a very laissez-faire, maybe is the way to put it.
Yeah.
The attitude that I saw in the presser was like, we're playing a team in Guatemala. This is fine.
Yeah, and his passes.
Why would I even get my heart rate up for this? Like,
Yeah.
I think I agree with Devin there. I was hoping that we'd see the Max sub a little sooner.
Sure.
Because I said Max on for Mac because
Right.
I just from what Mac was doing, it was just not. It's not the blockbuster Mac that we brought in.
Sure.
It was like just some other guy on the roster really.
I think ideally those two you'd want to see play together long term, right? Like Max and Mac and not
Yes.
take one off for the other.
Yes,
Especially if
absolutely.
you're trying to get a goal, right? It kind of seemed like bring Max on because he's exciting and he has the skill to make something happen, but you're taking a lot of skill off with Mac coming off.
Yeah. I agree with it because Mac is a very skillful player, but there was a lot of kind of qualms from LAFC supporters when they did see him leave of like it's the same way he's kind of, I don't want to say he's a sidekick midfielder, but
Right.
It was easy for him to be the number 2 guy behind Acosta.
Sure.
Or Kellen Acosta, not
Right.
Brian Acosta, of course. Whereas Kellen was like, this is my midfield, or Price even, this is my midfield, and Mac was just there to kind of be an extra body. Now it's time for Mac to be like, this needs for him to take over the midfield,
Well, he said yesterday he called himself one of the best midfielders in the MLS. He said that in the
I
press
wanna
conference.
believe him. I wanna
And,
believe him.
Hey, I think all of us do. I know Yaya loves himself some Mac, right?
I really do. I think Mac is one of the best midfielders, but his effort the last year and a half, even with LAFC, has not been there. I think we all wanted to believe it was on Bob Bradley when he was on LAFC, not being utilized correctly. Last year we were saying that it's a new team. It's going to take time to come in and adjust to what they're doing here in Colorado. Now we need him to step up and be that best midfielder in the MLS. Prove Matt Doyle right in those rankings that he took out like a month ago, saying that he's one of the best attacking midfielders. We do need that from KAYE here pretty soon.
Yeah, I mean, can he be one of the best? I think athletically, yes. I think he just came off a really nice run of form with Canada, and they're absolutely crushing CONCACAF qualifiers right now. But if you're going to come out and say, hey, I'm one of the best midfielders in the MLS, period, you can't have a no-show against Comunicaciones. You just
Yeah,
can't.
and I think he's just a ghost.
Yep.
I mean, that's kind of the best way to put it, is he ghosted. And I see Bob's here say reinforce the squad, sign some damn strikers. I mean, I'll say it again.
We're going to see that until July.
You could have given me 3 of the best strikers in MLS, and
Yeah.
without that midfield to kind of support those strikers, it wouldn't have came out. Sometimes it's not just personnel, it's tactics, it's mentality, it's kind of how you decide to go into a game. And that you said it perfectly, or no, someone said it like you need Mac to be the person that sets the tone of like,
Yeah.
we're gonna win this game, guys.
Yeah.
I don't think besides Price, besides the captain, I don't know if you have anyone else. Maybe Yarborough,
Yeah.
who really wants to win it, but a lot of that team, I'm like, who's got the drive? Who's got the Kobe
It
or the
is.
Michael Jordan in them to?
It's
be
very
like, let's
hard to
go.
lead a team from goal, like to be to set that tone.
Yeah.
Now, I think everyone knows Yarborough is going to hold up his end of the bargain. I mean,
Yeah,
he led them
absolutely.
some clean sheets last year, right? Like, we know that is a nice safety net on the back. But that being said, who is going to set that tone? Price. Let's talk Price. Let's talk the captain. I think he was trying to direct traffic towards the end with the new guys a little bit. I'm wondering if he was thinking a little too much formationally and tactically and not reacting as much.
Yeah.
I don't know what you guys saw from Price. I think he had a beautiful corner at the end that Wallace couldn't finish. I don't know. How would you grade his night, Devin, from what you saw from Price?
I give him a C.
Yeah.
Probably. He was out there doing Jack Price things from time to time, but again, if everybody around you isn't quite focused, I don't know what else he's supposed to do.
Yeah, there's only so much you can do from that central midfield position to carry the team. And I mean, someone here asked me, who do you think the best player on the Rapids is? I think it's Price.
Yeah.
But not necessarily because he's flashy or gonna always send in the perfect crosses. He's just kind of have all the fundamentals down. Like there's rarely a time where Jack Price is on the ball and you're like, oh boy, like what's gonna happen? Whereas like there's a lot of players on this team where they have the ball and it's just like, I wonder what's gonna happen here.
Yeah.
Whereas Price, it's like what you get from him. He's gonna be reliable. He's gonna be give it his all, and that's all you can ask from him. You're not really asking him to change the game, even though he absolutely can with those set pieces.
Yeah. And as Devin pointed out, there were not a lot of chances for him to change the game with set pieces because there just wasn't a lot of action going for them. They weren't forcing that. They weren't creating those set pieces in the offensive half.
Right.
Let's talk the strikers. Obviously, the chat can't stop talking about the strikers, which is great. I mean, you're right that it's a problem, but yesterday when Robin was talking to the press, the only question he really opened up was about Rubio and how much he loves Rubio. And clearly he is going to have every opportunity at the 9. And honestly, I thought he had a pretty solid game. I don't think he was a massive negative. There weren't a ton of clean chances for him. He wasn't set up a lot. Juanners, what are you seeing from him? Obviously, he's going to be the 9 for the foreseeable future until a move can be made. What do you see from him tonight?
I'm a little biased because Rubio is one of my favorite players on the team, and so I'll always kind of gear towards seeing the positive in him. But he was 1, 2, 3 passes away, from being on the assist box score, and so close but no dice. And I realize for a lot of people that's not enough. But like I said, he's better with a strike partner. Maybe not Lewis, but I thought he did. I thought he did fine. I think in any other instance, maybe he could do. Maybe if he had a chance that we really didn't see his ability to score. If there was a moment in the box or 3 moments where he had one-on-one with the keeper and missed it, or right at the keeper, but I mean once he gets in the box, which he rarely does, and especially in this game they rarely did. I think that's when he can show his class. I don't know. What do you think?
I think Rubio is a Robin without a Batman right now.
That's perfect. That's honestly the perfect way to describe it.
Somebody's got to be able to get that ball that's coming in the box from those creative wings and midfielders, hold it for a moment, and get Rubio set up to be able to do what he does best and shoot.
See, Nikki D said it best. Thought Rubio was pretty decent today with what he was given.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And if he's not given much, people want to replace him, but you put the DP9 in his position, same thing's going to happen.
Well, I think tactically speaking, too, with just the 2 of them up top, that's not the best version of Rubio at the 9. You kind of want him false 9 a little bit back above the box.
Right behind him, behind
exactly.
the main guy.
And there's no doubting he's talented. Obviously, he's been a DP9 before. He can score goals. I don't think he was set up for success as much as he could have been today.
And ultimately, if he does end up leaving, he's going to be, wildly successful elsewhere. And I'm gonna be there to say,
told you so.
Told you so.
Juanners told you so.
And it's because when I believed in Danny Wilson when no one really else did, like he would tell you about that. I'd be like, you just got to hold on to this guy.
And now receipts.
I do have the receipts, and I'll have the Diego Rubio receipts for this guy as well.
Let's talk about the third guy that's going to be getting a lot of minutes up top, BRYAN. I thought he came in, had great pace, really sort of changed the game once he finally came on. That's when it really opened up, especially on the break, on the counter. Juanners, what'd you see from him tonight?
I love BRYAN, but he can't just be a pace merchant.
Sure.
There needs to be kind of a lot of the times when I see BRYAN running, there is like I don't know if there's much aim, not aim, but like I don't know.
There's no purpose to what he does sometimes.
Yeah, there's a lot of and that's maybe because of the system that he's in, but once Barrios and Rubio were on, they were hugging the wide ends of the pitch, and that's not where you want to really see
Sure.
Barrios. Plug my co-host Jared Geisler again.
Who was on the DNVR opener, actually.
Yeah, he was on the opener, so maybe people are familiar with him. But he said Barrios can't play on an island.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, he's last year around this time he was on an island. He was really by himself, and we saw that again. And now we have two islands. We have an island of Barrios and an island of Rubio, and you really want them to come together, Pangea style, and kind of make some stuff happen in the midfield. Not in the midfield, but like in the attacking third. Because right now there's no attacking third.
Right. There really wasn't. And honestly, there wasn't much of a middle third either.
No, definitely not.
The ball was gone.
They're just going over.
Yeah. Bye, middle third.
Yeah.
Let's go back to that back line, because I think it was it was expected to see the five in the back. Trusty and Lawless both, I thought, got up and got involved when they could. Outside. No, go ahead.
Sorry, I'm glad you brought up Lawless, because I've been itching to talk about Lawless.
Let's talk Lawless. Let's go into Lawless. I'm a Lawless guy, so
Dude, I am too.
yeah.
But
I thought he
I'll
was.
preface that.
I mean, I wish he finished that header off that corner. I think it couldn't have been set up better. But he got in the air. Especially now that they didn't re-sign Badgie. There is no giant offensive target up front. If he can get in on those corners late and be a target, great. Like, that's right where we want him to be. But he didn't finish. So, I mean, it wasn't his fault that rocket went into the goal late. I don't
think it was any Rapid's fault.
Exactly. It's kind of just an incomplete, almost from left to right.
Well, I'm glad you brought up Lawless because, I brought up Lawless, but
let's bring up Lawless.
I really want to talk about him because I want to see his heat map tonight. He was not playing center back. He was right behind Warner and right behind Price, like literally right behind them, and that tells me that, I mean, you go back to games where the Rapids get burned on the counter, and Lawless is the last option. He's typically slow to get back, and there's been times where he's been a little bit like rough, a little bit not dirty, but he does a suspect. Like there was one time against Austin where the Rapids should have definitely conceded a penalty because of a Lawless Abubakar challenge, but we were lucky enough not to get it for whatever reason. I thought that was going to go to VAR, but Lawless pushed up, which was weird, and let Wilson be kind of the middle person to be I
thought that was odd too.
It was odd, and I think Nicky D says Lawless is not good with the ball at his feet, and I kind of tend to agree.
Yeah.
He's not the most technical person there, so it was just kind of strange to see him. I don't know what the plan is. Maybe him to be a physical force of like, I'm going to stop the play right here,
sure,
in case Warner or Price doesn't. But as Devon said, that's too defensive.
Yeah,
you have three guys whose kind of purpose is to kind of like play defense.
Yeah, and Rosenberry's gonna hang back too, right?
It's not really resulting in the most prettiest of soccer.
Sure. Now, Devin, this is obviously a CONCACAF match, not an MLS match. Tactically speaking, we're not going to see the same stuff we see against Comunicaciones as we're going to see against LAFC, against Atlanta, in those early matches against Sporting. Defensively, what you saw tonight, should we be expecting that in those early matches in the MLS?
I sure hope not. I'm hoping that this is just Frazier trying to do something different.
Sure.
To make up for the fact that we don't have that attack that we might want.
Sure.
And that this was like a specific instance of a tactical plan of we're going to have Abubakar do this rather than Wilson, who is much better at distributing the ball from the back line. I'm going to think that chalk this one up to being a one-off.
Sure.
And when we start MLS play, I hope we don't see that.
Daniel here says, felt like Estevez and Rosenberry played well on the wings. Would like to see them push forward a bit more to bring the midfielders in and open up more crossing options. 100% agree. I thought Estevez had some moments, looked pretty good. Rosenberry was solid as always. I don't think either gets an A, either maybe a B minus C plus. I think tactically speaking, if you are going to drop those three back, they have to be more involved though.
Yeah, absolutely. Shout out Dwiggins. He's a good friend of ours.
Yeah.
Solid analysis as always, Mr. Dwiggins. But yeah, I agree. I think he's solid on that point. And there's moments where Rosenberry found himself a shot, and I want to see that of like, all right, guys, if no one's going to shoot, may as well take a shot, rip one. You know, like
that was my prediction before the game. I said 1-0 Rosenberry from wide.
Okay.
He didn't do it. He didn't do
but
it.
it was there. It's not like it was out of the realm of possibility.
Right.
But yeah, ultimately, I mean, it was just a lot. It was just too defensive for our liking.
Yeah.
For everyone's liking. I don't think anyone kind of predict. I mean, maybe you may have predicted this. I thought the Rapids were kind of gonna use this as a tune-up to really like figure out like how they want to go forward, and it's a little concerning. A little concerning, but not alarm. Like sound the alarm. We're bad. You know.
No, and I wouldn't take away from the game that this team is bad. I would take away this team needs to play together because two major contributors have now played a combined 40 minutes with this team, and they're
right.
And ACOSTA and Max are going to be big time players for this team, and they just haven't had a moment yet. And I think with the departures, guys like Mac and guys like Lewis and Warner haven't really had that time
to shine.
like, okay, I'm the guy. Like,
yeah,
I am now the starter. We're going to hold down this midfield, and it's obviously I would say overall, it's hard to say less talented because I think Mac is great. I think Max is good. I think ACOSTA was a downgrade, but there are guys there. It's a deep midfield. I mean, I guess the last guy you want to touch on, Yarborough, I thought he had a good game. No major mistakes. He couldn't have stopped that goal.
Nah.
If you replayed that 100 times, that was a rocket.
the deflection, man. That's what kind of ruined it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have no problem with Yarborough tonight.
Yeah, and I mean, he's going to need a clean sheet next week. I mean, let's get into that. Second leg. We're coming back home. It is 0-1. No away goal tiebreaker.
13 degrees. We're going to be freezing our asses off.
High of 13 degrees. High of 13 degrees. Brutal. That reminds me of the classic snow game at Dick's from U.S. and Costa Rica back in 2013.
Snow Classico.
Yeah, I was there. It was awful, but it was not 13 degrees. It was more like 20-something degrees. 13 is gnarly.
You want to speak on that? I have my own thought.
I've been there before. At
Sure.
this point, like
I've been at worse.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Sure.
the last Champions League game was breaking records for how cold it was.
Really?
We had the news crews coming out to the tailgate to make fun of us for being out there in the first place.
Yeah,
So you guys are a little crazy. Just
at
I've
this
seen
point,
the C38 tailgaters.
This is one of those things that separates the diehards from the regular fans.
for sure.
I'll take cold. Just don't give me wind.
Right.
Wind is what will kill you.
Yeah, you hope it's just overcast and cold.
If it's
No
cold, you can
precipitation.
deal with it. But if something's coming at, wind's coming at you, it sucks. Wind
So
sucks.
if it is
absolutely.
cold, and I mean, let's talk about that. It is going to be freezing. We're probably going to see another defensive, send it up, pick your spots, and not necessarily push the pace. Does that sound right? Or you guys think we're going to see a different tactics going into this game? You need goals. You need to win 2-0.
I got to take the Rapids for their word. They want to win. They don't want to just use this as a tune-up.
Mm-hmm.
They can't come out there and do the same thing they did tonight and just play like that. They have to come out there with an attacking game plan.
Yeah, and I don't know why, but the only game I've seen where they've been kind of cold, like played in the cold, was against Toronto, and that was a bad game because it was a bad coach.
Yeah.
But in years prior, where they've had like a snow game or a cold game, they've kind of used it to their advantage because you got to also think Comunicacion is probably not used
To 13 degrees? I don't think it's ever been 13 degrees in Guatemala.
No, and the thing is, you have some players who have already played in that cold. Maybe Max, ACOSTA, BRYAN ACOSTA, and who are some of the other guys? Maybe.
Yo, shout out Blackish Shaft. Every day is shorts weather. That's my kind of Colorado right there.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a true native, you live by those words. But ultimately, I mean, I think some of our players on the squad know what to expect of the cold weather.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah,
they've played in it. They've been in it. And we played in places like Minnesota. We played in places like.
we have 2 Canadians on the team.
Yeah, and they recently played
in some freezing cold.
Yeah, so I think the cold is the least of the worries.
Sure.
Maybe it's naive of me to think, but I think, like Devon said, they go out there and they win.
Okay, give me some. I'm gonna throw some over-unders at you guys. I want to hear what you think.
All right, I like this.
Okay, so let's talk Max really quick. Over/under that 10 minutes, or we'll say 11 minutes. Today he had 10 plus stoppage. Devin, you go first.
I'm gonna say over. I think
Over?
he gets in closer to the 65th minute, somewhere in that range.
Yeah,
Give him a little bit more time
Sure.
after he's been with the team for longer.
Okay.
I'll go over.
Yeah. What do you think?
I think if you put it at 15, it'd be a lot tougher though.
Sure.
I think over too.
Over?
I think Brazier's lost something he liked, and he'll give him a little bit more chance to get accustomed to the
For
squad.
sure. So Barrios, he played about 30. Did you say over or under? 30 minutes for Barrios.
I'm gonna say over. I think Barrios starts this next.
You
game.
think he starts, gets
Yeah.
that 60, and then comes off for
Yeah.
Lewis?
Yeah, the logical part of my brain says over,
Over.
but I don't know what to think. I don't know what to expect from Robin half the time. So
Right. Okay, here's the tough
if
one.
he doesn't start, under.
Okay, so Warner, over under 60 minutes.
60 minutes from Warner.
He played basically 60 today.
So Warner start is what you're saying.
Yeah.
He's not starting.
You don't think he's starting. So who gets that start?
Acosta.
Acosta.
Acosta? What do you think, Yaya?
Yeah, I'm with them. I think Acosta.
You want to
gets
see
the
Acosta
nod.
start? Okay, so let's say now we're saying, so it's, you guys think it's going to be the 5 back again?
Yeah.
Probably.
So we got 5 back, Price, Acosta,
Mac.
K, with Barrios
Yeah.
and Rubio up top.
Looks
Okay.
like it. That's probably the role. That's probably the lineup they'll roll
Yeah.
out with.
Yeah.
Over under 1.5 goals scored for the Rapids.
Over.
I'll go over too.
Over, who gets them? Juanners?
Rubio gets both of them.
Rubio, both!
Yeah, Rubio gets
You
both
heard
of them.
it here first! Juanners calling it!
Absolutely. I mean, we can also go back to this episode. I'll say it right now. Rubio's getting 10 goals this season.
Oh, man!
Yes, sir.
Clip it! Throw it up on Twitter!
And
Put
just,
it on the
you know-
subreddit! We don't need a DP9!
I did not say that.
I know, I'm just kidding, I'm just kidding,
I
I'm
didn't
just
say
kidding,
that.
I'm just kidding, I'm
Because
just
he-
here comes the comments.
Yeah. They're gonna come at me.
Devin, who gets the goals?
I'm gonna go with Barrios.
2
And-
goals?
No,
One goal.
no. Barrios with 1.
Okay.
And I'm on the pod, so I got to do this. Danny Wilson header. That's
Yeah.
that's gonna be the second one.
Oh!
There we go.
Danny off
Off of a Jack Price
off
corner.
a Jack Price corner. Would you love to see that? Yeah. Over under 1.5 goals for the Rapids.
Over. I say they win 3-1.
Yeah, I think 3-1 too.
Yeah,
3-1.
3-1.
So you're calling 3 goals. Who you got?
I got K,
Okay.
Barrios, and Rubio all scoring in that game.
My
Give
third is
me-
Max.
Max. Oh, man. I want all the Max goals. Give me all the Max stock.
Can
I'm
I get
so
any
in
odds on
Max.
Yaya Torre goals? Like, I think he might get one too.
Yaya, nah.
I don't think he's going to sniff the field.
Give me odds on him. Yeah.
I just
Start
love
playing.
Yaya so much. I just
well,
want
it's
him to
because
play
you're
so
both
bad.
Yaya. That's why you love Yaya.
I don't think we see Toure really get any playing time until we get those Wednesday games when we're trying to rest the starters.
Man, 4 goals in a game when it's 13 degrees. That is
I mean,
going to be fun as hell.
There was 6 against Portland Timbers when they played here. It was a 3-3 game.
Okay.
And then back when the Rapids played Red Bulls, it was 3-1.
Yeah.
And that was Snow Classico 2.
Let's
That
go.
was back in 2016.
Let's go.
Jermaine Jones' debut, actually.
Yeah.
They played
My
with a 3-1.
guy.
So it's you may think, oh, Snow, they're gonna play for the drop, but no, they actually maybe not just Snow, maybe not the Cold, but there's more ways and opportunities for them to kind of let some in.
Jermaine Jones, the reason I'm a Schalke fan. So get ready for some. If you're just following me on Twitter, you will see some very sad Schalke tweeting this season.
Also, maybe bring in Andrei Nishiki back on the team. You know, he likes to play in the snow.
So Shinyashiki still isn't with the club. He's down in Brazil. You would hope by next week they'd have this figured out.
Why? What happened?
The word on the street is working out a green card. Takes some time, paperwork. It happens. I mean, in the NBA, James Harden just forgot to do the paperwork for his player option, so it could happen. And that was for like $40 million. So maybe for a green card, you can mess up the paperwork.
Right.
I think that has to do something along the lines with international salary allotment. Green card wouldn't count towards that. So we'll see. If he's back, I would love to see him come on with about 10, 20 left.
In the middle.
In the dead
Stop
center.
putting him out
Yeah,
wide.
no more winger. I want to see.
In the middle.
Because he's also a sidekick striker, to be fair.
The problem is, and
he's
I
a fox
think-
in the box type
And
of guy.
they made the right moves last summer to sort of piece together a lot of sidekicks. and they found a formula that worked. This season, they still have a lot of sidekicks. What's the formula that's going to work? Can Max take over? Can ACOSTA not? He was never going to be a like for like with Kellen, but can he kind of fill in that role? Let's throw out some predictions for the game. And I know we just did scores and goal scorers, but something to happen, something you want to see. Yaya, do you got anything you want to see? I know you want Yaya in.
Yeah, my dream would be Yaya to come in. I just want Yaya to play, but I'd love to see Max get either a goal or an assist.
Sure.
I think that'd be great for him, especially playing first game at home.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that for sure. Devon.
Whew, okay. I mean, I already called Danny Wilson header, so I feel like I'm kind of going out on a limb on that one. But if I'm gonna go with another one, I'm gonna say that both goals are off of the set pieces.
Okay.
I think the run of play, the way they're playing right now, they're not sharp enough to get those
Another
goals.
pricey yellow just came through the comments. That's a good one. I kind of thought that too, a yellow in some direction. I want to see Laos get in there, mix it up, knock someone down. Juanners, what do you got?
I want to see us take a lot more shots and not be. I mean, I think overall, you look at our corner total, and it was probably like 2 or 3 corners for that game. I think we double that, maybe triple that. 9 is a lot for one team because that's kind of like 9 is kind of like the standard for a soccer game and period. But at least double your corner production, double your shot production, and play with some urgency. I mean, it's kind of a preview. I'm kind of a preview now. It's not a prediction. Let me see. A good prediction will be a hockey assist from Max.
Okay.
So Max passes it to Price, who then,
Love that. I think we're all in on Max. I think across the board here, right? I mean.
Yeah, absolutely.
Dude, let's go. Give me that one-name Brazilian. I want that talent. It can't go wrong. I mean, I'm also a United guy, so Fred. I mean, I love me some Fred. One-name Brazilians. It's the way to go.
And like the most generic names too, like Max.
Yeah, Max.
Like we don't get like.
It's great. We love it.
We don't get someone with Eno in their name or like Pato, or like some exotic I don't know.
Max.
We get Max.
Max.
What's his name?
It's like a golden retriever's name.
Yeah.
My prediction, I think we get an assist from Estevez. I think we get 2 assists from Max.
Oh, 2 Max assists.
Yeah. It's going to be 1-0 when he comes in. It will be 3-0 when the whistle blows. That is my prediction.
Oh, okay.
It is going to be a very cold, very late, exciting game. Yaya, you want to throw anything else out? Any other questions or anything you got about next week?
Not really. My biggest thing was just what you guys want to see as a lineup. What you guys would actually do if you guys were Frazier as a lineup.
Perfect. I mean, number one, and I think we sort of addressed this, but Warner out, ACOSTA in, Lewis out, Barrios in. The 5 is going to be there, so let's just say that's the 5 across the back. I think all of us are good with those guys.
No, I was wondering, if you guys were Frazier, what formation would you guys want? Not the 5. If you guys want to put a 4 back, what formation would you guys want the Rapids to play?
Devon, close your ears on this one. 4 across the back, Wilson out, Lewis, Barrios, Rubio up top. That's how I would go. I'm sorry, Devon.
This is what I would. This is what I would do. I'd do 4 back, get Michael Edwards in there, get Abe Rodriguez in there.
Whoa!
Get Mayaka in there.
Mayaka.
Get Larraz in there.
Mayaka.
Get him in there.
Open cup
get
now?
Yappy. Get Toure. Give me the Rapids 2 against Comunicaciones, and then
Give me Rapids too.
Because I love the kids, dude. Our future.
A must-win CCL. Give me this.
I'm all with Juanners on this because I'm so excited for Rapids too.
Dude, I'm so excited for these kids, dude.
Too.
Because how crazy would it be if you have these kids come out and beat Comunicacion? I mean, obviously, you could throw out any lineup and I'd be happy with it. However you put it up, 4-3-3, 5-3-2, 5, whatever.
Yeah.
3-4-3, whatever.
Sure.
But I do want to see just one of the Rap kids, because I think Mayaka is the next big thing.
Oh, dude, I'm all.
Him and Yappy. I mean, Yahir likes Yaya Toure, and I do too. But Yappy and Mayaka, give me those guys. Give them some starts.
And I'm more on Yaya and Mayaka because I love Mayaka too. Like ever since the Rapids drafted him last year, he's been so high on my board and everything.
Mayaka and Max would make some gorgeous football happen.
Give me a Max, Mayaka, and Ali LaRosse midfield, and I'm pretty happy.
Yeah,
Devin, throw something crazy out there. What are you jonesing for? Give me something.
I don't know about crazy. I'm more practical at this point.
Yeah, I mean, you're calling Danny Wilson headers off of set pieces.
Oh, no. On the formation. I'm
Plain Dev.
Let's go with the 4 in the back. Let's stop overloading the 5 there. Let's have Danny Wilson actually be the one who's distributing. Let's put people in I used to work at Chipotle, and they used to have a saying called "aces in your places." Let's put people in the places where they belong, instead of having them do things they're not supposed to do.
Right.
Like, why is Lawless over here just like kicking 50-yard passes down the field and hoping for the best?
He is an ace, not in his place.
Yes.
Why is Juanners playing the trumpet, right? Why is Paul taking his shirt off?
Man.
Things like that, right?
There you go.
Guys, thank you so much for coming in. We loved having you. Go ahead and plug socials, podcast, all that, Juanners.
You want to start first? I got a lot.
Or Devin, go for it.
Sure, I'm not on socials as much as I used to be anymore, but I am on Twitter. I'm at DevMachine. You can follow me on there. If
Very nice, wholesome Twitter feed.
Yeah, mostly about sports. That's really what I'm talking about. Every once in a while, a sprinkle in video games. If you want to find me in real life, I'm the guy who runs the grill at the tailgates. I'm the one burning all the hot dogs. Oh yeah, C38.
The C38 tailgate.
It is lit. Hit the air horns again.
Because not a lot of people know about the C38 tailgates.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Juanners.
Yeah, you can find me at Juanners FC. That's JUANNERS FC. You can follow my MLS gambling page at GAM_MLS for all the sweet kind of picks. I'm now on DraftKings.
Let's go.
As DNVR is kind of affiliated with DraftKings. There's just a lot of juice to be had.
Use code DNVR on DraftKings.
And then, of course, you can find me on the C38 podcast at C38SG on Twitter. Me and my co-host Jared tend to kind of talk about the Rapids from a supporter's perspective.
Great listen. It's a great listen. It's a must listen. If you don't, I'm sure you do if you're here. But if you're not, by all means, you should be listening to C38.
Thank you. Yes.
My name is Mitchell Carroll at _ Mitchell James. I should probably get something that's a little closer to my name, but that's what Mitchell's pretty common. I couldn't find anything, so that's what you got. Mitchell Carroll is how you'll see it on there. Buy t-shirts from me downstairs. Buy the new Rapids t-shirt. Devin's showing his off over there too. Go ahead and get yours. Maybe a scarf in the works. Who knows?
It's a very soccer thing of you to do for DNVR. A scarf.
Who knows what we have all sorts of fun stuff. Tonight the watch party was awesome. We gave away 4 tickets to next week's game, t-shirts. So come check that out. You always can come down to the DNVR bar. You'll find at least a couple of us willing to talk some soccer.
When are you guys giving out the new jersey? Because that thing is beautiful.
Hopefully season opener is my guess for that.
Dang it, I won't be there. I will be at LA for that one. So
we'll see.
Juanners wants a ticket to go.
Someone win the jersey for me here, and I'll get you back.
So, yeah, guys, thank you so much. Make sure you check out everything over at thednvr.com. Guys, thank you so much. Have a great night. Hopefully we get the rebound next week. Go Pids.
Go Rapids.